Russian collusion? This is Ron. Welcome to Story Time. And this is Saturday, the December the 16th, and I'm reading again from a publication of Hillsdale College, Imprimis, and it's a column, actually it is it's adapted from a speech that was delivered on September 7th, 2017 at Hillsdale College's Alan P. Kirby Jr. Center for Constitutional Studies and Citizenship in Washington, D.C. by Molly Hemingway, who is the senior editor of The Federalist. And it's a rather long article, so what I'm going to be doing is dividing it up into four sections, and I will read one section each day. So, Russian collusion? We keep being told that President Trump is not normal. This much has been blindingly obvious. He had never run for office or otherwise served in a public capacity. He's been accused, not without reason, of breaking all manner of political norms. America's most non-traditional president was never going to conduct business as usual from the West Wing. Less than a year into his term, he has already caused much anguish in Washington. This should be no surprise. While running for office, Trump repeatedly promised to drain the swamp and shakes things up. Americans knew who they were voting for, and history will judge the results. That said, Trump's nascent presidency has coincided with perhaps the greatest violation of political norms this country has ever seen, a violation that has nothing to do with Trump's behavior. Since the election last November, there has been a sustained coordinated attack on Trump's legitimacy as president following his victory in a free and fair election. This has the potential to cause far more lasting damage to America than Trump's controversial style. Democratic operatives and their media allies attempted to explain Trump's victory with a claim they had failed to make stick during the general election. Trump had nefarious ties to Russia. This was fertile area for allegations, for if no other reason than that Trump had been reluctant to express criticism of Russian President Vladimir Putin. By contrast, Secretary of State Hillary Clinton repeatedly condemned Russia's 2011 elections, saying they were neither free nor fair, and expressing serious concerns about them. She publicly called for a full investigation while meeting with top Russian officials. This made Putin livid. Mr. Putin said that hundreds of millions of dollars in foreign money was being used to influence Russian politics, and that Mrs. Clinton had personally spurred protesters to action, the New York Times reported. Trump's relationship with Putin was decidedly different. In December 2015, Putin called Trump a really brilliant and talented person. Trump replied, "It is always a great honor to be so nicely complimented by a man so highly respected within his own country and beyond." He added, "I've always felt that Russia and the United States should be able to work well with each other towards defeating terrorism and restoring world peace, not to mention trade and all of the other benefits derived from mutual respect." Then rumors surfaced in the summer of 2016 that Russia had probably had something to do with the alleged hack of the Democrats' National Committee email system, as well as the successful phishing of Democratic insider John Podesta's inbox. Russia was also alleged to have tried to hack the Republican National Committee, but without success. It remained an open question whether the Russians were trying to help Trump or were simply trying to create chaos in the election. Regardless, these Democratic Party emails were published by WikiLeaks, and they confirmed what many critics had said about Clinton and the DNC. The DNC had engineered the primary to ensure a Clinton victory. The Clinton campaign had a cozy, borderline unethical relationship with members of the mainstream media. Clinton expressed private positions to Wall Street banks that were at odds with her public positions, and various other embarrassing details, indicating her campaign was in disarray. According to Shattered, a well-sourced book about the Clinton campaign written by sympathetic reporters, Clinton settled on a Russia excuse. Within 24 hours of her concession speech, campaign manager Robbie Mook and Podesta assembled her communications team at the Brooklyn headquarters to engineer the case that the election wasn't entirely on the up and up. For a couple of hours, with the Shake Shack containers littering the room, they went over the script they would pitch to the press and the public. Already, Russian hacking was the centerpiece of the argument. The Russian collusion story involves a lot of details, but there are two basic tactics that Trump's enemies have used to push the narrative. They have put seemingly innocuous contacts with Russians under a microscope, and they have selectively touted details supplied by a politicized intelligence apparatus. And this has all been amplified by media that has lost perspective and refuses to be impartial, much less accurate. And that's the end of part one of this issue of Imprimis called Russian Collusion. And number two, the second part of this is going to be tomorrow on December the 17th, Sunday, and it's called Meetings with Russians. And again, this was adapted from a speech that was delivered by Molly Hemingway, senior editor at The Federalist and a Fox News contributor. She received her BA from the University of Colorado at Denver. She has been a Phillips Foundation Journalism Fellow, a Lincoln Fellow at the Claremont Institute for the Study of Statesmanship and Political Philosophy, and a Pulliam Distinguished Visiting Fellow in Journalism at Hillsdale College. She has written for numerous publications, including the Wall Street Journal, the Washington Post, and Christianity Today, and is the author of Trump versus the Media. So again, tomorrow will be part two of this adaptation, and until then, thank you very much for joining me, and have a great day.